Good morning. It's Saturday, January 17th, 2026. My name is Terry Morgan. We are here to talk about martial arts philosophy, practice a little bit of Qigong, practice a little bit, maybe some cloud hands, and I'll talk a little bit more about what's coming up next. So, first of all, what I haven't been doing is teaching class in the morning. This is obvious. What I have been doing is working on a series of books, which I've talked about. The main first book is titled The Ambassador. An accomplished older woman brings together a tight knit team to protect the local neighborhood. Together, they must find a way to stop the invading O'Mary. That is the premise of the story. The accomplished older woman is a keeper of earth. She's five elements: metal, water, wood, fire, and earth. She's also an adept in the ancient arts, and in the story, the ancient arts are traditional Chinese martial arts. This main character is an expert swordswoman. She's extremely good with a straight sword. She's good at Tai Chi, and her Baghua's all right. Her Xingyi's okay, but she's really good at sword. Uh, her friends are good at different martial arts as well. That connection through my own background into the stories is part of what I envision for what we are doing with the stories, which is an audio drama in the style of an old fashioned radio show. I have a production site, channel15radio.com, and we have a number of um, scenes, episode, depends on how you want to count them. We have quite a bit that's been produced already. I have just completed this is just this is where I've been. This is what I've been doing. Just completed a complete full end to end 1 hour show with the introductions and space for commercials and announcements and things at the beginning, and the commercials all the way through for a 1 hour time slot. I published that to PRX, the national platform, excuse me, the national platform that most of U.S. public radio gets programming from. I did. We're we're looking at getting airtime. I will. The story is up on YouTube. It's up on my channel. Okay, so you can listen to it. And one of the things that I want to talk about this morning, and this is something that is important for the story as well as for classes. Hang on one second. That's why I bring something in with me. All right, this is important for classes as well as for the story. And that is that in the show, in the story, there are fight scenes. There's martial arts. I wrote it. I put martial arts in the stories. I did. Real martial arts, not the fake phony stuff, slam bang kick punch. I put the real stuff in there. And it's in the show as a scene in the show where two of the characters, the main character, the ambassador, and her chief of staff, are supposedly going to a meeting. What they're being lured into is a trap. They have to fight their way out, and they do it politely. They're very polite about their fight. Oh, excuse me. What did you need? Oh, hey, let me drop you down here. All right. So on the one hand, what we hear is the characters being very polite. We also hear the opponent falling down. Okay, so Where are my manners? Let me introduce my foot to your knee. Whack. Hey, she's polite about it, right? That kind of combination of being polite and being very effective is something that I've learned from every teacher that I have ever studied with. It's not an anomaly. It's not, oh, well, let's just put this in the story. It is absolutely something that is taught. I teach it. I don't want people, I don't want to teach somebody who's overly aggressive. I don't. Because that person doesn't have the nature that they should have to be able to do some of the things that we learn. Someone who's overly aggressive is going to pay more attention to what they can command and what they can control and what they can do than they are to learning, helping, trying to become a better person. Because that's fundamentally what the arts teach us. They teach us about ourselves. They teach us what we can do, what we can't. They're very clear, very clear. There's no, there's no two way. The mirror doesn't lie. I have a mirror. I have a mirror on the other side of the camera there. It doesn't lie. It can't. It will show me exactly what I'm doing. And if I'm honest, another quality that's required. If I'm honest about that, I'll see, well, I could improve that. I need to fix this. What do I need? Right? I'll see it. If I'm not honest, I won't. It doesn't matter. You can talk about this or that for years and I still wouldn't see it because I don't want to. That's one of the fundamental things in study is that you have to want to see what you're doing. You have to look at it. You have to look closely. The nuances of movement are not gross. Put my hand up here, take my hand down here. The nuances of movement are here. And I'm going to show some of that with cloud hands in just a minute. That idea that there are things that we pay attention to, there are bigger movements, there are smaller movements. There are differences in the quality of movement that vary depending on what art it is we're practicing, what the intent is, and all of the internal workmanship that goes with. This is the philosophy that I have been talking about. Using the technique, if you know the technique and you have the skill to do it, you can use it. Okay? Just knowing the technique and having the skill is not the same thing. It's not. You can know a lot of things intellectually and not be able to do them. Yeah, it's possible. It's very possible. Okay, being able to do them requires more than just that intellectual understanding. You actually have to do. And that activity, that engagement, that physical, let's go do this, makes all the difference in understanding what it is that we're doing. That intellectual only, I've read a couple of books, that's all I know, is not bad. It's a good thing, but it's incomplete. And it won't ever be complete without some level of practice. That's what I've been doing here, practice. That, again, back to the story, the philosophy. So I've been working on the story. I'm working on the show. I'm trying to build up the audience. I would like more fans. If you know anybody that likes sci-fi, please listen. All right, thank you. And end of the commercial break. All right, I have been working on that. It is something that I'm going to continue working on. I want to continue developing, and I want to continue to bring out the connection between what's in the stories and what's in the traditional martial arts. Some of it is technique. The technique is in the books. I wrote a lot of technique in the books. Some of it is the philosophy, how we treat others, how we bring up the next generation, how we show respect to the generations that came before. These are all things that are fundamental to traditional Chinese martial arts. Now, where do we go? That's all the previous stuff. Now, where do we go? I talk about that a lot in progression, don't I? Where do we go? I am going to wrap up all of the classes, review and pay attention to what I have already presented, address any gaps that I find, and basically package it all up and tie a ribbon on it so that there is a consistent, coherent presentation that if there's an introduction to some class that I left out, I don't usually do that, but if there is, I'll put it in. I'll look at the transcripts. I'll also look at filtering anything that is excessively redundant. In a lot of the classes, I do things over and over again. This is how we learn. This is how we develop the skill. That repetition is never exactly identical. So I'm going to tell you, when the AI generated version of me starts going around against my will, against my permission, against anything that I have ever even considered, I don't want it. No, thank you. But when it happens, those movements will all be exactly the same because it's going to be a fake recording. The human quality of movement is just that, the human quality. If I teach class in person, I can teach the same movement over and over again, and have done that. I taught class at university for 9 years. I've taught public classes. I've been out there teaching, not just live stream. And every time I did the same movements, just a little bit different, because it was a different day. I felt better. I felt not so great. I was more active. I was less active. I was paying attention to being quiet. I was paying attention to being stronger. I was paying attention to something that wasn't exactly the same. That's one of the things that has kept me interested in the arts for over 40 years now, is that there's always something that's just a little different. There's always something that I can change, that I can develop, that I can work with, that isn't the same thing every day. Right? That's boring. That's boring. All right. So, wrapping up the classes, that's what's next. After that, I have to think about it. There will be something. There will be something. there's no doubt in my mind that there's going to be something. It's going to be something that will be connected to what I'm doing with the books and with the shows. And it will have a connection. It will absolutely have a connection to the martial arts, because the fact is that everything that I've written in the books, the characters themselves are the arts. It's it's a story about the friends. It's also a story about the martial arts. So anyway, that's that's my that's my story. Um that's one of my goals, is to continue working on what we're doing with the audio drama and bring that story to life with all of the bells and whistles, with all of the voices, and with, maybe it'd be nice to have some visuals beyond the excellent artwork that we have. That'd be good. But to create the opportunity for all of the conversations that could happen as a result of what you might hear in what we're doing. You listen to the fight scene. You know what's going on. And I hope that there are people who will talk about it later. I really do. All right. In that context, with this idea that we're talking about martial arts and fight scenes and so forth, in this particular scene, and I've got a demo up, but I'm going to show it right now, and then we're going to practice some cloud hands and we'll practice a little qigong. The two characters, the ambassador and her chief of staff, Namani, have to fight their way out of a trap. The ambassador uses China and Shrina. China, wrist lock to drop the person. Another grab and direct attack at the knee. She's gonna take out that guy's knee. All right. All right, and Shuai, twist, falling, uh, causing somebody to fall down. Shuai Dao, fall down. Shuai Na. So a twist that causes someone to fall down, not just a grab and a lock. You're going down. She uses all three. Namani uses Fair Lady Works the Shuttles from Yang style Tai Chi. And I'll slow that down. I'll do it again in a minute. Yeah, I did the techniques with the hands. That's what I was doing, actually. that's actually. I'd have to put a little more force into it with the body to actually make it work. Okay, so with the chin out, breaking the first guy's wrist, it's here. With the second one, the knee, it's attack with the attack comes with a fist. So I'm going to grab and kick right here. Here. Might come over across this way. That hurt more. All right. And then this one, the Shrina, is a twist here. Grab, and twist down. The person's going that way. All right. Fair Lady Works the Shuttles. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. In the form, we practice slowly, right? Nice and even. Everything is well placed, well centered, nicely connected, right? That placement and connection, the ability to move smoothly gives us the ability to move quickly. If I'm tense, I'll do this with the tension. If I'm tense, Fair Lady works the shuttles. Don't do it this way. Don't do this. No, this is bad. Don't do this. Okay? Don't do this. No, don't do that. No. No, don't do that. That's, I don't know. it's not Tai Chi, it's not Fa Jing, it's something else. I don't know what that is. Don't do it. Okay? Fair Lady works the shuttles. That smooth, even, continuous flow. Smooth, even, continuous flow. Right? With force. Right? And that cannot disrupt. Right? We don't want to use that external awkward force, which is what I just said don't do, right? We don't want that. We want well-placed force. So the body needs to be in correct position. And we want to use the breath and the movement, the dynamic in the movement. Kinetic energy, physics, movement. We want to use that. If we're off balance, body's not well placed, this is off, the timing's wrong, it won't work. That force will be awkward. Even if we're not deliberately exerting awkward force, I was exerting awkward force, that's what I did. Right? Even if we're not deliberately doing that, if we're not well placed, it will still appear awkward. Okay, so yeah, I'm getting ready. I need to be well placed to do this. All right. So with the idea that we're moving smoothly and quickly and delivering force. Last turn I missed. I'm going to try it again. Yeah, I did. I missed. My foot missed. You didn't see it? Right? I didn't miss that time. I didn't miss. That, knowing that, right? That's how we learn. What happened? If I don't acknowledge it, if I don't see it, the mirror's not going to lie. The video's not going to lie. You look back at it and go, what happened with that? She fell over. Yeah, I put my foot wrong. And when I turned, my foot was here, right? And when I turned my body weight, my foot rolled over. My ankle rolled over. And I couldn't pull my weight back. How to correct that? Make sure you put your foot flat. Don't do this, right? Put your foot down, right? In that turn, I'm trying to check the stream here. In that turn, right? So I'm here, turn foot, step out here. This foot has to turn, this foot has to set wherever it's going. Okay, and you're going over here, right? So I'm here, and I'm going here. 4 corners, right? Fair Lady works the shuttles, 4 corners. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. This foot, again, I'm going to emphasize that idea that If this foot sets, everything else comes around. If not, you fall over. The same concept, the same idea of working slowly and developing that smooth, continuous flowing energy, that smooth, continuous flow in the movement is what we want for all of the arts. Some may be a little more outwardly forceful. Xingyi does that, Shaolin does that. But the connection inside, that internal connection, that I've got the ability to continuously move through whatever it is I'm doing, is part of what we want to develop so that we can create whatever that movement is supposed to be. In Wudang Tai Chi, cloud hands, I'm here. The circle goes around my body here, right? And as I'm moving, there is a continuous connection through the body, through the legs, through my feet. Feet have to be well placed, right? Otherwise, the movement will seem empty and detached. I'm going to do this. I'm going to try not to sink into my legs, all right? I'm going to bend my knees. Okay, bend my knees, but I'm going to keep my waist a little bit off so that it's all just up through the upper body. Okay, you could see the legs turning. And if you were in the room with me, you would feel it. You could feel it. All right, it's not quite connected. Different quality in the movement, isn't there? It's not as obvious in video as it would be in person, but I'm pretty sure you can see it. All right, and that is what we're looking for, that difference in the quality of movement, that difference in how we move, what we're doing, and how does it connect to our practice generally and in what we're doing specifically for whatever that technique might happen to be. In Tai Chi, we want this quiet, easy, continuous flowing movement. We speed it up a little bit for Bagua. All right, and we harden it a bit for Xingyi. We harden it a lot for Shaolin. All right, but this smooth, continuous flowing movement. Ward off, pull down. Tang, Ji, Lu, An. Ward off. Press. Pull down. Ward off. Press. Pull down. Push. Yeah, it works on both sides. Right, this hand, ward off down here. Yeah, ward off. Yeah, it is something we pay attention to. It is. That smooth, continuous flowing movement, right? Here. Nice and easy. Yeah. Nice and easy. You don't get to go that fast if you're not open and relaxed. If you've decided to move and you're relaxed, you can direct what your body is going to do. If you're not, or this little diversion in cloud hands illustrates a little bit the idea that we want in all of what we do. And that is, and goes to the idea of being too aggressive, of how we develop our character, of being polite. Meet your opponent as if walking. This is, I am not thinking about doing anything in particular. I'm just walking here. I'm just going, right? Meet your opponent as if walking. So I can step off to one side and my opponent can go on the other way. I can do all sorts of things from that calm, alert, engaged position as if walking that I cannot do if I'm tense, nervous, trying to do something. Yeah, for me in particular, if I'm trying to do something, I generally fail. I do. I get caught up in whatever it is I'm trying to do, and I lose track of what I should be doing. That is something, again, it's a personal characteristic, that's a personal trait. It's something that I have to pay attention to. If I'm thinking about the goal, what's my goal? I can use this in competition. My goal is to walk away with the first place medal. I will guarantee that I will not walk away with the first place medal. If that's the way I walk into the competition, I will not walk away with that medal. It won't happen. I'm going to get the first place medal. No. I might, but not with that attitude. It won't happen. All right, that's part of that notion of meet your opponent as if walking. I'm not going to be thinking about whether or not I can do something. I'm going to pay attention to what's necessary, and I'm going to do it. That's it. Just stop there. If I'm thinking about, again, if I'm thinking about what it is I'm going to do, I'm going to win the gold medal. It won't happen. It won't happen. Okay. But I got a few. Wasn't because I was thinking I'm going to go win. It was because I was trying to do everything that I had learned and to put it all into my form so that it was possible to see clearly what the art was, what the forms look like, and to see the character of the form as well as some of the applications, because they do show up in whatever form it is. Cloud hands. I'm going to use this again. Cloud hands. One, right? Ward off. Press. Pull down. Push. press, pull down, push. Ward off, press, pull down, push. Ward off, press, pull down, push. And that's just a description for the upper hand, right? Lower hand is a ward off. Push, pull down, ward off. That connection through the movements, right? This idea that it's not an overt slap your hand. That is the nature of ward off, but it's here. It's not. That subtle difference, that subtle distinction, again, it's part of what we learn. It's part of how we develop. It's part of looking at what we're doing, understanding what it is we're doing, and then developing the philosophy, developing the character that gives us the opportunity to keep going and learn more. Without the character, okay, if you think you already know everything, you're never going to learn anything more, right? I already know everything. I'm not going to learn anything more ever. I already know it all. Okay. It's not going to help. That development of character. I know something. I've learned a few things. I could learn more. What's this over here? Maybe I could look at that for a minute. That looks interesting, right? That character, that being curious, that continuous learning is part of what we want to develop in the martial arts, so that we keep looking at what we're doing. We keep refining it, and we keep looking for ways to do it better. Because in that process, we're also improving ourselves. Thank you for being here with me this morning. I will be back with more classes and more wrap-ups over the next few weeks.